Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour, live from the brand new Real Talk Studios here, no longer in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey, Runnymede, New Jersey. And we welcome you all to A2DRadio.com and the Hockey Happy Hour in our brand new era here in the real sports talk of A2D. I'm Matt Sensudi, along with the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
What up?
We might have clipped a few of those wings, though.
I'm not flying
just
right
a couple of days ago, I think. And then right on over here is the broken one himself, Mr. Rob, the Povia.
You miss a few fucking shows and right away. Right away. First time, boys. What the hell?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hockey Happy Hour here live, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy for all your specialized physical therapy needs. The Dr. Paul Vidal will take care of you straight away, so don't be afraid to give him a look up at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
Reach
First things first.
Yeah, I actually had to reach out this time, yeah.
Twitter, I apologize for such a close-up.
Extreme close-up!
You're going to get to know me real good.
Whoa. Anyway. Well, hey, at least you knew what Brian had for lunch. But anyway, all right, so.
What did I have for lunch?
I don't know.
I
Twitter,
don't
tell
either.
us. Anyway, the Twitter question that is on the board is actually, the Twitter question for today was Travis Konechny going down, which, did that hurt the Flyers? Did it not hurt the Flyers? Agree or disagree? The Flyers, of course, they did recover against Anaheim, but they had a really bad trip out west where they lost 3 straight games in regulation and looked absolutely terrible in all 3 games. They got smoked and scored, about 1 goal per game? And then, 4 spot, 3 spot? Then the less we say about the Winnipeg game, the better. And then, of course, come back, beat Anaheim, and then mention we beat Anaheim. And then we...
You want to mention it one more time?
We beat Anaheim.
Yeah, you did.
And then, and then we come back, and then we face off with the Buffalo Sabres tonight and absolutely spank the Buffalo Sabres, put a 6 spot on them. Buffalo barely managed to get 1 goal, and that was only on a power play. I mean, damn, the Flyers just crushed it tonight.
I know you were happy about beating the Sabres.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love it when we kick
Huge
the
win.
shit out of the Sabres. It always feels good.
Huge win. It wasn't even like they kicked the shit out of them. It was just pure dominance from basically the puck drop. There was not any point in this. Yeah, pretty much. This may have been one of the more complete wins that I've seen the Flyers have this year. They did not allow at any point in this game really to let Buffalo get set up in the offensive zone.
No,
and even when the Flyers did cause a turnover, the defense was there to back them up. It was a complete team win.
It was.
All in all.
It was.
And a couple bounces going Flyers way doesn't really hurt, but
Yeah.
it was a complete win.
6 goals. 3 really were by the Sabres.
3 were by the Sabres. I thought maybe the fourth there may have been 4. Van Riemsdyk's first goal I thought went off of the Buffalo defenseman. Nothing really clear there, but I mean, a goal is a goal is a goal.
Sure.
Yeah.
No matter how it goes in.
Yeah. I mean, overall, though, I will say, the Flyers right out of the gate, they got 3 goals, which got them going. And then after that, Buffalo really could not recover. And no response in the first period. Second period, the Flyers scored yet again and scored twice. And that made it even worse for the Buffalo. They get another goal later on, make it 6-0. And then finally in the third period, Buffalo managed to get 1 goal. But by then it's too late. It's like, wow. I mean, you just talk about crushing a team and just, rebounding after a really bad road trip and just setting a tone of like, okay, we're back home. Let's reassert ourselves here. We did not have a good road trip, but we can at least recover nice and land on our feet here before Christmas break, which, they have 1 more game coming up. Actually, 2. 2 games coming up. They got 1 on Saturday.
Against Ottawa.
Oh, and they go to Ottawa for that one. That should be a feisty contest if anyone watched the last matchup between these two.
Always is.
And then
they come back home on Monday. I don't know who they're playing.
Let me double check here. Who do they have on Monday?
Forever fighting.
Yeah.
Forever Ottawa.
Yeah.
Hashtag it.
No matter whether it's historical or it's modern day times, Flyers and Ottawa, they just seem to absolutely hate each other.
The Flyers did need some home cooking. I mean, we saw it Tuesday. We saw it again tonight. Tonight was even more so because the elephant in the room was minutes before the game's about to start during the warm-ups, Buffalo scratches Jack Eichel, their captain, their young stud. That's got to throw them for a loop. The coaching game plan, the lines, all out of sorts. It showed up on the ice.
Oh, especially, for sure. And especially when he's out there taking warm-ups as well. And then next thing you know, literally minutes before the game, they're saying that Jack Eichel isn't playing. Throws everything for a loop.
Yeah, absolutely. And Monday, the Flyers will be facing off and welcoming to Philadelphia the New York Rangers.
How you doing?
So, yeah.
That'll be a tough matchup.
That'll be a tough matchup, but it will be a good matchup because it'll be a matchup to determine out of the two teams that are, fighting, to prove something here. It'll be real interesting to see between those two teams which one's going to leave and go on Christmas break with a win or a loss. So that should be fun. Nothing like a rivalry game before you go home for the holidays.
Unfortunately, that's going to come down to goaltending.
That is.
An odd comment on YouTube. The gambling hippie barely hit the over tonight. What the fuck was the over? 7 goals. I mean, was the over 8? Could have been.
He should
have been.
He should have gone to ATS Sports
Thanks
Picks.
for chiming in, though.
But anyway,
anybody with the gambling hippie, that's good in my book.
Yeah. I really should have gone to ATS Sports Picks. Probably would have gotten it right if he had done that.
Yes, sir.
And also listen to Rob, too, on top of it. But anyway.
Purely fantasy. When it comes to gambling, I suck. I quit.
When I gamble, I usually just do the over-under. It's usually easier. I can't understand everything else. It's too complicated for my poor brain.
It's so funny
Makes it
because,
hurt.
I'm connected with some gambling tips, a gambling site right now. Now, they'll hit. I go to play it, doesn't hit, and everybody's salty. So I'm not playing for the betterment of them all.
Yeah, pretty much at this point. All right.
Wah.
Jump into
Want my
somebody's
milk
comments.
and cookies? Not gonna get them.
Jump into somebody's comments here on
Yeah,
Facebook.
Was that a warning to Santa?
Probably.
Maybe.
No. Okay. Anyway.
I'm just saying.
Gambling hippie said the over under was 6.
6. Oh, wow.
Wow. All right.
Okay, then. They were expecting a lot. All right, then.
Seriously. Trevor Harris says, "What up, yo? What's up, Trevor?"
Hey, Trevor.
Chip.
going
Goes
on,
on
man?
to say, "New studio. What the fuck is this?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro. We're moving up in the world.
Hey, man.
We're going places.
We got a nice new.
And we're taking you with us."
Nice new spacious studio for everyone to enjoy. So,
Steph Hoover says, "Sup, fam? What's going on, Steph?"
hey, Steph.
Trevor says, "Flyers gave the Sabres a biblical beatdown tonight."
Yes,
sir.
Yes, they did.
Fire and
man.
brimstone.
They did.
Yeah.
Hellfire and brimstone.
Frank Vespi, the winner of the A2D Fantasy Football League.
Oh yeah.
Oh, congratulations, Mr.
Frankie
Vespi.
Bones.
Yeah, says, "Hey, yo, sorry to bother you. Hashtag frozen banana heads at work. Losing Konechny really hurt the team."
It did, man, and you could tell on the Western on the West road trip, man. Like offense was really bad. Like a lot of mistakes and a lot of errors in judgment, and just I felt like I was like, damn, like it really took a pin out. It's like usually between having a lot of offensive players on the team, you would think that one guy wouldn't hurt that, even though that guy was the scoring of the team. But man, no one stepped up during that West road trip, and that was pretty.
There was very little
disappointing.
but there was limited healthy bodies to step up.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad that commenter brought us back to the poll because yes, having Konechny does hurt. Leading this, tied for the lead, the team leading in goals, but it wasn't just him that hurt this.
No.
At one point, the Flyers were down 6 forwards that they started the season with. That's hard to overcome, especially when you're on the road.
Absolutely, and getting the news that they had gotten. That doesn't help either. It's a distraction when they got it. For obviously those who live under a rock, I'm talking about Oscar Lindblom, and it's a distraction, and sometimes it takes players away from where they are, and I think that's what happened in Winnipeg. And now that they got home, everything's starting to get situated, everything's starting to sink in. They know what's going on, and now they're kind of rallying around each other and starting to play for Oscar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, and obviously we are also with Oscar 110%.
Oscar Strong.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm definitely planning on getting
Definitely Oscar Strong.
Definitely going to get one of those shirts that they have for Oscar right now. And what I think we're going to do is I'm going to have it displayed here for when we do the show.
Nice.
Because you know what? It's like
I'll have one.
Yeah, it's like 110%. We're behind Oscar 110%.
Well, if you're going to get one and you're going to get one, I got to get one.
Yeah, we're all going to get it.
And it goes to a good cause, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It goes
Absolutely.
right to Hockey Fights Cancer, and we're all behind Oscar because this is bigger than hockey.
Absolutely.
This is a situation that's way bigger than hockey.
And applaud to Winnipeg when they did show their support. Minnesota showed their support.
Oh, everybody has.
Everyone showed their support. And not just the Flyers community, but all of the hockey community has followed through with the support. And there was a guy who was doing Sportsnet in Canada, and he gave a shout-out to Oscar Lindblom as well after he got his diagnosis. So, yes, hopefully he can kill this, conquer this, and, hopefully he can be back to playing hockey.
It's a brotherhood, the hockey community. Yep. It really is. It doesn't matter who you play for. There's things that are bigger than the sport, and this is one of them. And
we got Tom Arnone signing off for the evening. He's
going to go warm up. Speaking of warm, can I get some of that?
No.
Yeah, pull it over
because you lost. You lost, so you don't get the heat.
You lost. You get no heat.
There you go.
It's cold over here.
All right, we'll do this in and he's back.
We got to do the show in Florida for this duck over here.
I know.
I mean, not that your team is from Florida, but going down south.
I mean, we'll go. We can just go to Southern California.
Southern California is kind of similar to Florida. Not
all
too
right,
far of a
I'll
difference.
settle for Southern California.
Oh man, how terrible!
Damn.
Florida or Southern California?
Yeah, it's
actually no contest really. California.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like
I'll take either one, though.
Nice weather, palm trees, beaches, hot babes everywhere you look.
Jacksonville, what?
You get it in Florida too.
I'm not saying you don't, I'm just saying. Like,
either you guys watch
the.
Where are we going with that?
I don't know. I
was going to say also the blow, but anyway, moving on.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the NHL being a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood. It's a community. Like, there's things bigger than the sport, and when the situation comes down to it, even with the situation with Mario Lemieux.
Yes.
Playing his first game back from Hodgkin's
lymphoma. Yep.
Getting the ovation he got from the Philadelphia Flyers crowd.
Yes.
That's a moment that I'm always going to remember because it's a moment that's bigger than hockey.
Yes.
Yeah. And as fierce as you thought that rivalry was between Pittsburgh and Penguins earlier on in this decade, probably multiply that by 5 during that time period too.
Yeah, because you talk about the big star Crosby. Is imagine what it was like when you had to play Pittsburgh in Mario's prime. And don't get me wrong, Crosby is the modern day equivalent of him, but
Joe fucking Francis.
But yeah, just
good,
imagine facing that team with no salary cap on top of it either, so they could just stack players around Mario Lemieux during that time, and they did. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm sure I'm speaking for the both of you, saying that the Hockey Happy Hour and A2D Radio is fighting behind you, Oscar.
110%. Put us into that army immediately to fight this.
Absolutely. All right, back to the comments. What do we got here? Trevor Harris says, all right, let's get down to the Taylor Hall trade.
Yes, all right. So Taylor Hall, of course, is no longer a New Jersey Devil, which is great news for the Philadelphia faithful. We don't have to deal with that anymore.
Hooray.
And now you guys get to deal with him more often again, as par for the course, because he's now in Arizona. And is he still in your division, or is he out of your division?
No, he's in my division.
He's in your division. Okay, so he's back in your division is the better word for it.
Wait, was he before? No, that was before the...
Was Edmonton in the Central?
Edmonton was in... What was it? It was...
No, Edmonton's definitely got to be West.
Well,
no, they're definitely the Western Conference. I'm just trying to remember what the divisions were before they changed them.
Patrick.
After
Adams.
that. Norris. After that.
Well, Norris.
I went way back. I went Prince of Wales on your ass.
A little too far back.
I'm old.
Hold on. Well, let's finish this out.
Graybeard.
You had the Patrick, you had the Norris, you had the Calder. No, not Calder. What was it?
I think it was, no.
No, I don't think it was the Calder.
I think Calder was one of them.
Calder was one of the divisions. And then what was the final one? Patrick
Atlantic,
Norris, Calder. What was the final division name? One more. Smythe. It was a Smythe division. There we go. Got it. There we go.
All right, so we got two divisions now. You
myself.
got the Atlantic Division and the Pacific Division that were originals. I feel like there was like a Northwest Division.
Oh yeah.
There was a Northwest and there was a Northeast division because there was 3 per conference for a time.
Right. What were the Flyers in?
Flyers were in the Atlantic originally because that was where Pittsburgh was, and that was where Washington was not in it. Washington was in the Southeast division, and that's why Washington always won their division because they were the best team.
They may have been. I don't know. My brain's starting to hurt.
Because if you remember, because that's when it was back in the day, they did it more properly geographically. Not like by today's standards where, we're going to have 2 Southeast Florida teams go all the way up north 4 or 5 times or 6 times a season to go play all the teams up north for whatever fucking reason. During realignment. It's like, yeah, it's the Atlantic Division, and we got 2 teams from Florida that'll be going up north with Carolina. No, not even Carolina, but going all the way up north to play Boston and Montreal 6 times a year. Why?
All right, so anyway, back to the Taylor Hall deal.
Okay.
I think this is obviously great for Arizona. It's going to put them like another step forward in the race for the Pacific Division. Still don't think they win the division. I think this move absolutely makes them a much better team. I still want to see a little bit more out of Darcy Comfort. He's been very good for Arizona thus far, and they've been getting some really good defense out of their core. And the Taylor Hall move, it kind of goes to show you that they were still looking for a little bit more offense. And now they got it. I don't think they're quite done making moves yet. I think they're definitely going to be making a push for the Western Conference Finals, if not Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
They're going to be a tough team to play come playoff time.
Agreed. They gave up some prospects. They gave up some conditional picks, but not really. They didn't really sell the farm.
No.
Taylor Hall.
Not at all. First round pick, conditional third, 3 prospects.
Nor should they, though, because really, Taylor Hall is a great player. We know that. But what has he really done in this league?
Well, not even just that. Like, I see where you're coming from.
Right.
He's a UFA at the end of the year.
Right.
So you're only essentially renting him.
Truth.
So I guess the condition in the third round pick has either something to do with how far they get in the playoffs or whether or not they re-sign Taylor Hall. So, I'm not going to sell a farm for a player to be in my organization for, 4 months, if that?
About that. It's going to be a crucial 4 months. But, but you're right. And here's the thing. Arizona currently right now is number 1 in the Pacific Division by 1 point, though. Vegas is right on their ass. So at any moment in time, Vegas could jump them if Vegas is playing and Arizona's not and they win. But this is still a very big deal for Arizona. This is definitely going to increase their chances. Do they win the division? I don't want to say that because I think that's too bold. It's like this is a team that, yes, they look real good right now, but I still have a couple of question marks on them, and that's it. Just a couple, which was mostly centered around their goaltending and their defense. That's the only thing that I'm questioning right now. But if everything stays good under guys like Ekman Larson and stuff like that, it's like, okay, then everything's all right. Then there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But if Ekman Larson, say he goes down, oh boy, that's when I'm like, oh man, that's a tough loss right there for them.
I'm trying to think of who else they have. They have Nicholas Hjalmarsson.
They do have Hjalmarsson, yes.
They traded away Connor Murphy. I believe Connor Murphy's back or I shouldn't say back. He's in either Toronto or Chicago.
Did Yandel retire?
No, Yandel's. I think Yandel's either in Florida or he's a free agent.
I meant don't. Sorry, my bad. It wasn't Yandel. It was Shane Doan.
Shane Doan. Yeah.
Yeah.
He retired a couple years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Double checking on that one.
All right. I don't even fucking care who they have.
Sorry. Trevor has a second question. Since the trade, are the Devils now officially tanking?
It would be a smart move for them. I would. Hell, you got Hughes out of that first, number 1 overall draft pick. You might as well see if you could get to number 1 or maybe number 2, 3.
Well, that would be 3 out of the last 4 years the Devils have been in the top 3 pick?
I don't think it would be a bad option for them, to be honest with you, just to say fuck it to the season at this point.
Nika was number 1 Philip Hughes was number 1.
Nico was one.
Or Nico
yes.
Hersher. What did I say? Did I say Nico Hughes?
Yeah, you said Nico. I was just double checking because I'm trying to remember what draft he came in. He came in the same draft as Patrick, so you're right.
So it'd be 3 out of the last 4 years they'd have a top 3 pick.
Yeah.
So maybe you keep doing what Edmonton did.
And yeah, true. And do it better. That would be the key. But also on top of that too, that's another guy that has not come back yet for the Flyers and has not been cleared to do anything yet. I know that he's been doing some skating.
He's progressing.
But he's not there yet. So that's another guy that we have to keep in mind. He may come back. He may not. It's iffy right now for the season. I'm more hoping towards next season he'll be able to get back into it. That's where I'm really hoping for. I don't know if he'll be. I don't think they'd rush him back for this year. Like, even if they're in a playoff spot and they're in an elimination spot, I don't think they go that far and put him into a game.
Yeah. David Raska says, yesterday Trish Stratus' birthday, still looks 23 years old. You just missed lazy booking, bro, by half hour?
It's okay, though. We were interviewing Tito Santana.
She does not look 23, by the way. She does not look as good as she used to.
I think she looks hotter now, dude. It's probably because I'm fucking old, but too, so.
Could be.
Ooh.
Sucking
Brodo.
in cheekbones. She look.
Brodo, do you have a comment?
Well, what'd I say?
Would you like to share your thoughts right now on that? Go ahead.
That's fine. I'm used to your hatred by now. See? Trevor Harris says there better be a Tony Monty jersey up there soon. No. Unfortunately, 1, we don't have one, and 2, we have a jersey design. So
Trevor's a Coyotes fan?
Tony Monty? Chicago.
No. I mean, is Trevor Harris a Coyotes fan?
Oh, no, he's Flyers fan.
Oh, that's what I thought.
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
I was dissing on the Coyotes. I didn't want to diss on one of our most loyal fans of the show right now. You know what I mean?
No. Trust me. If he was if he was a Coyotes fan, I think he'd have stopped watching for me shitting on the Coyotes every 5 seconds because I forget they're even there. Anyway.
Yeah, you ain't gonna forget this year.
No, not right now. The rest of the
Believe
Western
me.
Conference isn't.
Trevor says, do the show in Anaheim and do a show in Arizona. Okay, I'm down. You paying?
Sweet.
I'll take a trip out to the desert.
I
And to
literally
Southern
have
Cali.
no money right now, so yeah.
I don't either.
That's
before payday, so you know.
It's fun out there.
He said let's bring the Taylor Hall trade to Arizona. He's already there.
No,
He's already there.
All right then, cool.
What else we got going on down here? Let's see. First time Arizona is having a big name player since Jeremy Roenick. That's coming from Trevor.
You know, that's actually not a bad observation to think about because think about it. After Roenick left, and he actually came back for a short period, but after he left again, there hasn't really been much. I mean, in terms of big players, mostly because they were garbage for a while, and then they tried to rebuild their team through the draft. That worked a little bit. They managed to get into the playoffs a couple of times. They did get far, though, one year. They managed to get all the way to the Western Conference Finals, then got their asses completely stomped by Los Angeles. But other than that...
Yeah, nobody was messing with Los Angeles that year. Speaking of... all right, I'll bring that up later. David Roska says, I'm so happy to see Hall to the Coyotes. Why? Why?
I don't know. That's a
You
good
say
question.
you say you're a Ducks fan. Why are you happy?
Because maybe the Anaheim Ducks are closer.
Fraudulent.
Maybe they're making closer to making a deal for him since he's a UFA. They'll sign him during the free agency.
Or maybe Taylor Hall goes back to his lackluster ways of Edmonton days.
Oh, he just picked
going
up
back to the
another
Western
assist.
Conference.
No,
All right, maybe not then.
So Taylor Hall's got 2 points already in Arizona.
That was
At least.
I think he's
Hall to Kessel.
we.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
One of those days, we gotta not only have that, we gotta get those duck calling things, and we just all gotta use them at the exact same time that sound effect's going on.
What was his name again?
But we have to be really close to Brian when we do it.
What was his name? I have it in a text thread. I'll find it. Shame on you.
Shame on you. Yeah. Wait. Hang on. Time out. I'm going to come back to you. Trevor Harris says or asked, would you trade PK Subban next?
It's a possibility. I mean,
Depends if you're actually tanking.
Well, if you are planning on tanking, then yes, you trade PK Subban because there's really no point of having him because he's a veteran player. He'll be how old when those players are ready to hit their prime?
He's 30 now.
So, yeah, I would trade him at the trade deadline or before it if you're planning on tanking. We'll know for a fact if Jersey is. If we get a notification within the forthcoming months before the trade deadline, it'll be official. Jersey's tanking if PK Subban's not in a Devils jersey anymore.
Yeah, I could see him maybe finishing out the next year or two, but maybe not right away. Oh, he found it.
So the Ducks' name is Dr. Stephen H. Reginald McSwimmerstein III.
I'm not going to remember.
Twice removed.
Twice removed.
Right?
I'm not going to remember that at all.
So
anyway,
I'll remember Swimmerstein. Well, I'll call him Swimmy for Swimmerstein. We'll call him that, basically.
That's acceptable.
All right, then. Good.
Stefan.
Your little
Jesus.
swimmers.
Stefan. Oh, my God.
We're already in Southern Cali with those hot babes.
Oh, my
Anyway.
Hey, now.
Christian Miranda chiming in saying, come on, Coyotes. Come on. Let Arizona have success. As a Ducks fan, I'm okay with Arizona getting called. I am not okay with that hurt. It's too cold in here.
See,
It is too cold for that.
you need to take up the paper slamming hand. That's what your problem is.
You gotta
No,
put
it's
the
just-
baby
it's
powder
really
on
cold.
it. You gotta put the baby powder on
And
it,
this
man.
table's cold.
Right before you
Pimp slap somebody. Anyway.
Oh, you think I'm
not
playing?
okay with
You
this.
think
I'm
I'm
not
playing?
okay with the trade. I'm not okay with the trade.
Hit me up. What was that from? Was that from Friday After Next?
No, wait a minute. I thought it was How High.
Was How High?
I think it was
You're
How
right.
High,
You're
where the guy was
absolutely
hitting with the
How High.
baby powder. He's like, "Oh, you think I'm playing, bitch?" And then he just
100%.
slaps the one.
Oh, you old school? I'm far old.
I mean, Christian, it's just the same. Like he's
No,
in our
he's
he's back in our division now. What is going on over there?
We're
Sorry,
talking
go on.
about How High. Please keep going.
Back to hockey.
So Christian says better them than Edmonton, LA, or San Jose. Like San Jose, they're on the decline. Edmonton,
They are.
they're just playing hot hockey right now. They could be a contender. Not really sure yet.
Depending if their defense
And
wants
LA
to
is completely
go.
rebuilding. So you know,
They're gonna be rebuilding for a while.
I'm just not okay with it because he's back in our division. He's a good player when he wants to be. He wasn't showing what he really was this early season with the Devils, and I think you're going to see it now that he's actually playing for a contender.
Well, I think what really hurt him too was the fact that the coach was jumbling lines and was really just not finding a rhythm with anybody. On top of that, too, I think the fact that the team itself is very young and
The wire's getting a little personal.
and
Hey now.
oh, don't act like you ain't happy. And on top of that, what? You're not?
That's awkward.
Oh, okay. But
That's
anyway,
awkward.
so
Get your fucking mind out of the gutter.
oh come on, it's A2D.
True.
We don't. Our minds are always in the gutter.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it
I
is.
did see that, Trevor.
Real talk. This is fucking
Hold
gutter
on.
talk. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that question in a second. I don't like you. Just seeing what I've seen briefly in his 2 or 3 games at Arizona, he's a completely different player. He's got an extra jump in his step. He's winning battles along the boards. He's winning puck battles. He's forechecking better. This is the Taylor Hall we saw in Edmonton when he first came out. This is the Taylor Hall we saw with the Devils when he first came over there.
It may also be a possibility. Didn't mean to cut you off though. By the way, Flyers beat the Ducks. And
41-40.
That's fine. We're both going to have the same result anyway. Neither one of us is going to be raising the Stanley Cup at the end of the year.
who knows? I mean,
Disappointment.
you never know.
Brian
you never
is
know.
eternally screaming right now.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
All right. So anyway, my point is that what I was gonna say is it could be where Taylor Hall.
No!
You know that this would be 10
That
times.
sounds like butt rape right there. Oh, my God. Broom handle and all.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, goodness.
We've had
Holy
pimps.
fucking splitters.
We've had pimp smacking. We've had butt stuff, and we've had California, Southern Cali babes and blow.
And we're only
palm
25
trees.
minutes
Good
in.
God. Woo!
And we're only 25 minutes in.
What's going on? Y'all are going to jail.
Sorry, 39 minutes in. Oh, this
Okay.
is ridiculous.
But still.
Speaking of that.
Oh, my God.
No, actually not speaking of that.
I don't feel bad for them. I don't.
Taylor Hall. Okay, back to damn hockey. Okay, let me.
I
hook this
can't. I
shit
don't feel
back
bad.
in.
I don't feel bad for like Christian just said. I can't help but feel bad for Arizona. They're the Browns of the NHL. I don't feel bad. It's Arizona's not. They're not bringing in the scouts that are helping build this organization. They're not building in They're not bringing in a GM or coaches that really help take this organization a step forward.
I wouldn't say the Browns of the NHL are the Coyotes because they don't have a fan base. Actually, what I would say is because the Browns have a fan base, barely, but they have one. What I would say is they are, I would say more like the Sabres are the Browns because they have a fan base, but every single time the Sabres are good, they fail, and then they're bad for very long stretch periods of time.
Well, I get the comparison. I think the comparison is perfect the way that Christian said it because no matter who Arizona brings in, no matter trades, free agent signings, whatever, drafts, they look at what the Browns did. The Browns, on paper, were a Super Bowl contender, and they're not even going to make the playoffs. Arizona right now could be that team where they absolutely, they look great on paper right now. But who's to say this trade right now, just looking really good for Arizona, doesn't make the team fall apart? Who's to say that maybe, and I'm purely speculating here, that maybe Taylor Hall is a cancer and he destroys locker rooms?
Hey,
You never know. I mean, I'm just saying it's
I get that
speculation.
sense.
No, it's
Good
true.
point.
You're not far off base. I mean, there's very few people who are out front cancers like Evander Kane, who somehow worked out in San Jose. But still, it doesn't really matter.
And that's the other end of the sword here, where Taylor Hall going to Arizona could be the best thing to happen to him. He could be that piece that they're missing that could lead them to finally, in their organization's existence, getting to a Stanley Cup final.
Plus, like Evander Kane, you get to be on a few teams and you get this sense of mortality. Like, shit, I better get it going now, or else I'm gonna be out of this league.
Yeah.
A la Ila Kovalchuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, David Thompson, we are currently talking about the Taylor Hall trade. Just so you know. Feel free to chime in and let us know how you feel about it.
Hi, Dave.
I don't think there's I think it's a little more immortality for Taylor Hall because he's been producing at pretty much everywhere he's gone. He hasn't had an under. I don't think he's ever had an under 25 goal season in his career.
My ultimate point that I was trying to get to was maybe Taylor's more of a Western Conference guy. Sometimes that happens where you could fit more into Western Conference hockey than you can Eastern Conference hockey because, to be fair, Taylor never really had much time to get adjusted to Eastern Conference. I mean, he was only on the Devils for a year?
I don't think he ever even wanted to come to the Devils, to be honest with you. I think it just kind of happened to. That's where he felt.
So it could be possible where, he just didn't really like playing in the East anyway, and maybe he wanted to go back West. Sometimes that happens. Players go from the Western Conference to the Eastern Conference and vice versa, and they just don't feel like they fit in that conference at all because it is different when you go to the different conferences. It's the same thing in, football. AFC is different from the NFC. In baseball, it's definitely different. The AL is very different from the NL. It's like sometimes players play better in one part of the league than they do the other. It's just as simple as that.
And to your point, to piggyback off it, is, the Western Conference is a little more physical hockey, where the Eastern Conference is a little more skill and finesse.
Yeah.
Yes. Hence
to your point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And that's gone back and forth over the years, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, there was a time period where Western Conference, I would think it was more in the early 2000s when there was a lot more skill teams out there in the West. You had Detroit that had a lot of good skill to them. Anaheim had a lot of good skill to them. San Jose did. In the East, you had a lot of tough teams. You had a lot of teams like the Flyers who were still very old school minded of, beat you up. They had scoring guys, but they were very old school mentality.
Right.
Boston was very old school, very tough, very physical. A lot of teams were still very much in that mindset in the East. Now it's kind of flip-flopped around, and now it's more Western Conference is heavy hitting with the scoring touch, where the East, they're trying to get more fancy. Hence, the last Stanley Cup champions to come out of the East are the Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have the most skill, usually, for the most part, in the conference.
Yeah, Dom Cressidi. I hope I said your last name right, Dom. He said Hall was second in goals or second in points and won the Hart Trophy with New Jersey. Kind of like proving my point. Like, he goes to certain teams and you see him play a little bit better. And then, I guess because of his contract coming up, not knowing his future, being with it being very uncertain, he just wanted to go to a contender and then test free agency.
Well, do you think that the Devils should decide just to tank? In your personal opinion, would you, if you're in the GM right now, do you just say, okay, I'm going to shop around PK and I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm going to rebuild this team from scratch because I have Nico, I have Hughes, they're very young, so I can easily do this, and I got a very young team behind them, so screw it. I'm just going to say, you know what, we'll sell off PK, see what we can get for him, and we'll just tank it up.
I don't think they should tank. I think they're going to.
Okay.
I think that they should juggle some players. I think they need to take their time in hiring their head coach, getting their next head coach, which Mike Babcock is available.
Hush
And
your mouth.
You shut your whore mouth. Do not bring that upon us.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
and I think they need to really see what they have as far as younger talent and start bringing guys up. Not necessarily tanking, but really doing your due diligence and seeing what you truly have. If the talent that you have is really the talent that you have. Obviously, we're not going to talk about Jack Hughes. He's proven talent.
Yeah.
Nico Herscher,
Proven talent.
for the most part, I think he's still a little sketchy. But as far as defensively and goaltending is kind of where I'm going. You have Mackenzie Blackwood, who left the Ducks to 1 goal, who probably had another 75 shots like they did against Philly, and still couldn't score.
They start getting shots on goal, dude. That's never a bad thing.
Yeah.
No.
They'll go in. They'll start
No.
going in.
And they have Jesper Bratt.
Jesper Bratt's a really good young player.
Right.
Pavel Zacha hasn't really shaped up to be the player that they thought he was going to be. You got maybe shop some of these guys around that have been kind of unproven to you and see what you can get. Not necessarily draft picks, but bring in some younger guys, maybe some veteran presence.
But everything you're saying to me tells me tank. Though you have an
Unofficially.
interim coach. Yeah, well, let's face facts. And hockey is probably the least tanking sport of the major 4. But in the sense of the hockey term tanking, I think the Devils should do that. You got an interim coach. That way, you get you shed all these pieces that aren't working for you. You hire a new head coach, not Babcock. And well, it would be a smart move for the Devils to get Babcock, but he didn't work out in Toronto though too well. So
I think it would be a perfect fit for him with the Devils.
It would be. But that way, all right, so let's say Babcock does come in, now he could really bring in his guys that he scouted and not have to cook dinner with somebody else's ingredients.
Yeah,
using
but
a Bill
at
Parcells
the-
Well, how about this? To counter the Mike Babcock feel, is Todd McClellan hired?
Yes.
Damn it! I was going to say, okay, just hire Todd McClellan. He'll never achieve anything.
Where is he?
So there you go.
L.A.
L.A.
He's in L.A.
Okay, so he's going to be there for a while.
Makes sense.
But to build off of what you were saying, Rob, to kind of backtrack a little bit, you're not necessarily selling off pieces. I'm saying try and bring some other pieces in. Like, if you trade PK Subban to somebody, try and get some veteran presence that can come in and make an immediate impact instead of trading him for, like with Taylor Hall, a couple picks and some prospects.
Which is what you'll see, opposed to, let's say, if we're talking basketball, let's say you're talking basketball, you trade away that star player, and you're really pulling back nothing. You're pulling back more picks than anything because you want to get as low of a record to hit, to be eligible in the lottery.
Russell Westbrook is the best example of that. They pulled back, 4 first-round picks in that deal?
Right.
So that's kind of where my mindset is with the Devils. You're not necessarily tanking, but you're not playing to compete for a playoff spot.
Right.
You're trying to find that middle ground where you can find the pieces that are going to fit for your future, which obviously, like I said, you have a few in place. But guys like Pavel Zacha, he might need to change of scenery.
The Devils have no future.
just
I
keep.
hate them so much. I hate them more than he hates the Sabres.
Okay, a couple more comments rolling in here.
I hate the Devils. Don't worry.
Trevor Harris says maybe Peter DeBoer back to the Devils. He worked out for the Devils. He got into the Stanley Cup
Yes, he
Finals.
did.
I had just thought of that while you guys were going back and forth.
Yeah, he was fired from San Jose.
San
this
Jose,
year.
yeah, and he was there for a while, and they did get to the Stanley Cup Finals with him, albeit it was a very different team at that time.
Yes, we got a great comparison.
What was the great comparison?
David Thompson said, "This is like Tim and Sid on crack. I like it."
Nice,
Yes!
I love it. But yeah,
you
but
got
Tim
some
and Sid's a
crack
great
then?
show.
You got some crack?
Tim and Sid is a great show
after
too.
the show. After the show. Okay,
It's a great show. That's a great comparison. Couple more real quick. He said, Dom Crosetti said, not tank, more like let your young players develop.
Yeah.
Hopefully they hire Hack. Hackstall? Is that who you're talking about, Dom? Because he's got a job.
He got hired as assistant.
He's an assistant coach in Toronto. Yeah.
Which I mean,
But if you give him, maybe they offer him a head coaching job again. That'd be crazy.
they
I
might.
could see him getting another head coaching job.
Oh,
I
I
don't
think
think
he
it's
will.
terrible.
I
He's
think
smart, man.
but I think he'll sit down in the assistants for a
Yeah.
little while, and I
Yeah,
think what will happen is
to develop him.
that's what I was getting to. On
Real
that
quick,
one.
too, about the board, too. You see that a lot in hockey. Not only players returning the teams, but coaches, too. I mean, how many times did Michel Therrien coach the Montreal Canadiens? Like 7?
At least.
So, or the guy in for the Bruins. Man.
Claude
Claude
Julien.
Julien.
Yeah, it's Claude Julien.
And
you know
now,
what I mean?
ironically, he's in Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. So.
It's a
Yeah.
rotating door.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Well, you got to be French Canadian, or in other words, you're not going to last long in Montreal. You really do. But anyway,
Right.
Yeah, he said hopefully they hire him as a head coach. Maybe next year, Dom, but I don't think it's going to happen this year.
I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. As for Peter DeBoer, it's possible. Mike Babcock is, of course, a possibility. It'll be interesting to see what they do, to see how New Jersey's going to rebound after this, and whether or not they will choose to tank outright and just say, screw it, we're just going to build this team around Nico and around Hughes, and we're going to just fill it in from there. And Bratt, if Bratt is as good as he's been able to play up to. So,
Yeah, I totally agree. Real quick, Dom says hopefully they can hire him as a head coach as far as Hackstall. Do you think that maybe Hackstall's the reason for the offensive woes going on in Toronto right now? Because they're not playing offensively the way they were last year. They were an offensive juggernaut last year. I don't see him as a juggernaut this year. Austin Matthews is even having some trouble scoring, although he's been hot of late.
It's weird because when Hack was coaching the Flyers, certain guys who were not doing well for a long time managed to have a breakout year, and the one main culprit of that is Sean Couturier. I mean, Coots was really bad, and I don't blame that on him really as much as I blame the system behind him, because I don't think he did well under Berube, and I think that the revolving door of coaches didn't help nothing. And then when Hack got there, Couturier all of a sudden became the draft pick that we got him at, and that's one of the examples. I feel like there were other offensive players. Konechny found his footing underneath Hack, so I mean, obviously I think he's bloomed a lot more under Vainio, but but I mean, I do think that guys did find their scoring touch under Hack. I don't know if it's 100% on him. I think
so
maybe
ego has a lot to do with it.
Could be that possibly. I'm not going to rule that one out.
Plus, with assistant coaches too, they're coaching particular genres of the game. Whether it be, if their power play numbers are down. I'm not looking at him right now, and he was in charge of that as his role as assistant coach. Then you could point the finger at Hackstall in that regard. But overall, the finger goes up to the head coach, and that's why he was axed. And you know what I mean, and continue to do so now. I think it's more of a philosophy system that the head coach installs, and whether the players are buying into it.
Plus,
fair enough.
And also, we have to keep in mind, too, Toronto has been a team over the last few years that's made the playoffs, and the big problem that they've been having has been defense. That was always their biggest issue. It wasn't necessarily goaltending, because he's perfectly fine as a goalie. It's just you got to have something in front of him, and the problem was the Maple Leafs never had shit in front of him, and it hurt them in the long run because every time they get into the postseason, who would they draw? They would draw the Bruins, one of the best offensive teams in the league. And so it's like, if your defense is not on point, you're screwed. You are outright fucked against the Boston Bruins.
I kind of disagree with that, because they had Jake Gardner and Morgan Riley, and those are two of the best defensemen not only in the organization, but they're two of the top defensemen in the league overall. And those were your two leaders. I'm blanking on who else they have, but those are your leaders. You lose Jake Gardner, that's a huge loss.
It is a loss.
That's a huge loss. Now, obviously, Morgan Riley's more their future, but you lose Jake Riley. That's really absolutely going to hurt your defense because he's not only just the leader. He's not just a leader on the team. He's a captain of that. He was the captain of that defense.
Right.
And now it's Morgan Riley's. So, sticking with the head coach team we seem to be having going on here.
Okay.
We missed one.
Who?
Trevor Harris said, thoughts on Jim Montgomery getting fired? What's up with this hockey Me Too movement?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that whole mess. Oh, God.
I know.
That whole mess.
I'm
that
still kind of
happened.
curious of what he did. Maybe it was just like a verbal thrashing, but I'm curious of what he did that got him fired. Because they said it wasn't a hockey-related firing.
He must have said something very wrong maybe at a team event that, or not even. Maybe he said something around people that are in the team, that are part of the team, maybe a player, but they weren't maybe they were at a bar or maybe they were on the bus or something like that. I mean,
no matter what the scenario is, bunch of pussies, dude.
It's just,
Take a ribbing. I mean, you never had a coach yell at you. Oh my God. Oh, I can't take it. Physical abuse. I've had coaches slap me upside the fucking head. Come on now. This fucking day and age.
Well, they even brought weird.
Well, I mean, Peter
but
Laviolette punched who in the head when he was with the Flyers? Who did he punch in the head?
It was
completely unintentional.
Leno.
Yeah,
It was completely unintentional.
But here's the thing, though. Then they tried to bring.
I'm kidding, folks,
and it's
by the
funny
way.
that you bring that up with Lavi because Lavi. Then they brought that up about Lavi, about him. Then they brought up this about his coaching. They said, "Oh well, Lavi was the one who he said he didn't ask you to fight, but he implied that he wanted you to fight." And apparently, Carcillo came out and said something about that, where he was kind of leaned towards you should probably fight. I'm like, yeah, but hold on, Carcillo was that kind of a player, wasn't he?
It's the only thing he could do well.
So
it's the only thing he did well.
So forgive me if, Lavi walked up to you and said, yeah, kind of need you to rile things up a little bit here. And I think another player may have come out and said that about, him maybe possibly leaning towards him fighting or what have you. And it's just one of those.
That can't be real.
That's just one of those things where I say to myself, that's really? You're going to complain about, a coach wanting you to fight? It's it's hockey. Yeah, I mean, half the time you guys fight for no fucking reason. So half the time you guys hey, you want to go? Yeah, sure. And you just drop the gloves and fight. It's so what? You can use fighting as a tool. It's just, it's not used anymore as a tool. Not
trying
anymore.
to phase it out of the game.
It's not anymore. But
Stop it.
But yet they're trying to phase it out of the game. But I mean, I've seen an uptick in fights recently, and not just in Flyers games, just average games that I've been watching. Am I wrong?
No, I think there's been a lot of feistiness going around the league.
Especially with Anaheim. Nick Delorier has been dropping the gloves a lot lately.
Yes, sir.
He's dropping.
Kicked the shit out of
Yeah.
who? Who did he kick the shit out of the other night?
Farabee, right?
Was it Farabee? I thought Farabee fought somebody
No,
else.
that was
No,
Farabee
Farabee
fought
fought
in the Jets game. My fault.
Yeah, he
My
fought the
fault.
Jets game.
My
Yeah.
fault.
But I will say maybe he's taking up the role that George Paros left behind.
Well, Delorier's always been a customer who wasn't afraid to not only stand up for his teammates but drop the gloves when need be. A couple more comments here. Dom said, "Hack is too much of a player's coach. They needed a coach that would kick them in the ass and punish them if they did something wrong."
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Totally agree.
Me too.
Trevor says, "I want to know what he did. Did he bring strippers to the locker room or get?" Oh, that comment came in at the wrong time.
I hope.
Or get hammered at a Christmas party.
Dude, if that's the case, I'm going to cry laughing. I was like, that's awesome. That's just a great way to get fired.
Chris Stewart.
Sean Scarabisi. Oh, it was Chris Stewart. Okay.
Yeah.
Sean Scarabarasi. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, Sean, and I know I do this all the time. Getzlav on the waiver wire. Isn't he playing well this season? Should I pick him up? Yes to both questions. He is having a very good season, actually. I believe he's first or second on the team in points. He's got 25 points so far this season. I would pick him up immediately. All right, so Steph wants to talk about Anthony Duclair for a minute.
Okay.
Kid's on fire.
He is, man. He's crushing it right now.
I think he finally found the system that works for him. And I think it's Ottawa's system. I don't even know who their head coach is right now.
Yeah, I will say Anthony Duclair, he scored both the goals. I mean, obviously, when the Flyers faced him, the Flyers basically gave him one of the goals because of an absolutely horrendous miscue. But besides that, he did.
That was on Carter Hart.
That was a bad goal. Yeah, I will say. I'm like, why? What are you doing? Like, between
TJ Smith,
what for the
head coach Ottawa.
Oh, okay. But I was gonna say, when that play happened, I was mad. I was screaming at the top of my lungs when I saw that. I'm like, are you fucking joking right now? It's like, okay, Hart, you have the puck. You're the goalie. There's no one there. Get rid of the damn thing. Right the fuck now. You're not supposed to play with it like you're one of the goddamn defensemen or forwards, for fuck's sake. I shouldn't have to tell you that. That should be something you should know from Little League, from Pee Wee.
Time out. Are you sure this might be real? Because this is the second one you sent me.
No, I'm not sure.
But this is, you sent me two saying the same thing.
What is going on?
I know that. I don't know. I'm just sending you information.
Speak amongst
that's
yourselves.
Okay.
Allegedly.
I wasn't there. I don't know for sure.
Allegedly.
Well, this is what
Allegedly
Twitter
is
is
a
supposed to
great
be
word.
for.
Allegedly.
Allegedly what?
As reported.
Okay.
Allegedly per Twitter. There you
Allegedly
Oh,
per Twitter,
Christ.
the reason why Jim Montgomery got fired from Dallas was because of unprofessional conduct with an incident that happened at the Stars' Christmas party, allegedly hooking up with one of the Stars' ice dancers for a night of fun.
Oh, is that all? You kidding me?
Okay, hold on.
Can I get some?
Wait a minute.
That's
so,
just a Tuesday.
Yeah. right? Right?
so let me
I mean,
get,
what do you have her naked on the copy? Just hanging there making copies? I mean, maybe that's a little over the
Center
line,
ice.
maybe.
Center ice, maybe.
they take her to take her on the Zamboni and just have it go on autopilot. You
It
know,
was like a office Christmas party. It
Oh,
got wild.
so
It got real.
but Jim's the one who gets the whole bunch of coke blown in his face from the
Oh,
fan.
God.
Was the mascot involved?
Oh, there you go. It's like that show. What was it, Blue Mountain State or something like that?
Blue Mountain State?
Yeah, there we go. The mascot's getting it in. But anyway, oh my God. But okay, that is just
that's
hilarious.
funny.
Now, how old was the ice girl? That
She's
could
got to
be
be
a
at
big thing.
least 21, right?
There has to be an age limit. You can't.
There is
just
an age
be-
lit.
Yeah, I'll have to say you can't just be
I
hiring
think you have to be at
random
least
people.
18 or at least 21.
Okay, so all right, so the legal.
I'm not necessarily sure.
21.
21.
That's what they say in porn. Oh, I'm 21. Oh, you got to believe that, right? Because she said it.
I believe it when they say it. Am I wrong for that?
No, you're not.
Did they steal the community seal?
You're not. See, this is why you're not wrong, Brian. Because usually in porn,
Listen,
when the girl
listen.
says she's 21, she's really like 37.
It's like,
So it's
listen.
like the opposite.
All right, so
of
I don't
that.
feel so
Brian,
bad.
Brian,
Hey, they look
Brian,
great
Brian,
for 37.
Brian, calm down. You're absolved of all charges. You're all right. But anyway,
The chat is big fans of this guy, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
what of Montgomery or the Dallas Stars chick that you
No,
know?
I think just of the whole situation.
Oh, okay.
Trevor Harris said, "Are you kidding me? That's a Monday."
There you go. Seriously, see, some people do it on
so hold
Monday,
on.
some people on
And then,
Tuesday.
and then hold on, and then Dom says, "Guy's a legend."
Yes.
He's
So-
You gotta
if this
read
is
Sean's
true.
comment. You gotta read Sean's
So
Legend. Wait for it. There he is.
So Sean says, "So high sticking the ice girls is off limits now." What the fuck?
Fabulous comment. Fabulous.
that wins the comment.
Oh, that is comment of the night.
That is comment of the night.
He says, "Not gonna lie, ice girl worth the risk." Absolutely. Have you
Totally.
seen any of
Have
them?
you seen them? Even the Flyers
God.
ones. Good God Almighty! And all they do is shovel the damn ice.
So let's jump back to a real hockey comment.
Well, I was going to say, you can officially say this man indeed risked it all.
Oh, he definitely risked it all.
He risked it all right.
So back to a real comment.
He took her to the penalty box. Anyway.
Steph says Duclair just hammered home OT winner tonight. He's up to 20 goals. I think that's a career high.
Well, between
It's definitely a season high.
Anthony Duclair is hammering stuff home, the Dallas Stars former head coach is hammering things home. Man, this is a pleasant evening.
How you doing?
I'm sorry, it was too easy.
Oh, I was laughing at Trevor's
Yeah,
comment.
so was I.
Ping!
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay, that's it. No, that's what it was. Rim shot.
Oh, Dom has one for you.
Oh, yes, he probably would have. In fact, I'm pretty sure he did twice.
Well, hold on. What
wait,
was the
hang on,
damn
hang on,
comment?
wait,
We
hang
don't
on.
even know what the comment is.
He said Gordon Bombay would have done it. I'm pretty sure he's done it twice. He's done Charlie's mom,
Team USA Hockey.
He did.
and he did the assistant coach for Team USA Hockey.
The Goodwill Games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
What was her name? Aunt Becky?
No.
That's the other show.
Miss McKay.
Miss McKay.
That
Michelle
was-
McKay.
There you go. That was close.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And the only reason why he didn't get it in the third was because he was a lawyer. And
Why
he
do you
didn't
think
have
they decided to go camping after they won the Goodwill Games?
I don't know.
They could sneak off in the woods.
Oh.
Yeah.
While the kids were singing, "We are the
See.
champions,"
They're
they were
singing,
sneaking
they're
off.
singing We Are
Yeah.
the Champions.
See,
He's sitting there saying, I am a champion. Let's do this.
yeah. See, there's a director's cut that no one actually officially has seen.
Except for Brian.
Yeah, except for Brian. But it's the part where they sneak off into the woods while the kids are still singing "We Are the Champions" and celebrating, Queen style. Anyway,
Why did Gordon have to leave?
and like I said, the only reason why Gordon Bombay didn't get in the third one was because he was a lawyer and he didn't have a hot legal assistant. But anyway,
Because you love it. I'm replying to Steph's comment.
What'd she say?
Why am I here?
Oh, yeah.
come on, Steph. If you really didn't want to watch us,
So, before I get to Trevor's question, Sean says, Fly Girls, oh my God, feel like a pervert looking too long. He goes on. Want a pretzel? No, I'm good watching the ice getting cleaned. Said every man at arena.
that's a good
Truth.
between that and then trying to scope out the crowd to find Taryn Hatcher. So I think it was.
Oh,
just-
I've seen her in real life. Oh, she's. Anyway. So, Tom Arnone says, what's up, my boys? Tom, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom. But did you try to get close at
No,
all?
Barrett
Like-
Brooks was there, too. I was too afraid of him.
Oh, okay.
Are you kidding me? It's what's her name? The arena chick. What's her name?
Jessica?
No.
I don't know.
Jessica, I love how you just went to Jessica.
She does see in
Big,
arena
big
stuff.
fan
But
of
anyway,
Jessica's, are we, Mr. Brodo?
I don't know.
It was her. It was her. It was Taryn Hatcher, and it was Barrett Brooks. They were doing some kind of promotion thing. I was just kind of like, oh, there's Barrett Brooks. I gotta go. Oh. I ain't to. Nope.
Okay.
Literally walked up to him. Oh, hi. It was
Bye.
bad. Yeah, pretty much. I was like, I got to be anywhere else.
I was just gonna go get some merchandise. You want some? I was just gonna get a pretzel. Anybody want a pretzel? No? Okay, I'll go.
Andrea, that's it. Oh, we may have found somebody worse than me.
What's the comment?
Sean says, Taryn, oh my God, I might have every Instagram pic of her. Damn, I admitted that.
And it's here
Guilty
forever.
as charged.
And it is here forever.
Listen, man.
This show gets archived.
Yeah, listen, man. I we will say
On
this.
multiple platforms.
We'll say this for you right now. What was his name?
To Sean?
Yeah,
Sean Schiabarazzi.
Sean Scabarazzi. Your secret's safe with us, so it's okay. No one else will ever know.
Except for the
we'll keep it
16,
listen,
17 other people watching
since
plus
it's
YouTube.
Since it's the Hockey Happy Hour, we'll all keep it on the
Twitter.
Canadian down low. Shh. But anyway,
And Twitter.
Oh, yeah, Twitter.
And all of our
Yeah.
guys,
That's probably like
guys,
35
listen,
people then.
Listen,
Maybe even more.
Every one of you,
The
everyone,
millions.
millions.
Oh, my God.
but anyway,
Andrea, that's her name.
But everybody listen, Canadian down low.
Oh, Andrea Helpik. Yeah,
Keep this
Yeah.
one quiet. We're not
figure.
going to give that away. He has a shrine dedicated to Taryn Hatcher. We're going to keep that on the down low.
You know, I said it last time I was on the air, man.
I told you that in privacy.
The real
Can't
hit,
tell him secrets anymore.
the real hidden gem of the Flyers is Katie Emmer. I'm telling you, man, it's quality.
Oh, I hope she feels better soon. Apparently, she missed today's game. She was sick. I hope.
Did she?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, feel better.
David Raska, is Dallas Eakins next fired with this situation? No. I don't know why I said that so excitedly, but no, I don't think he is. It's his first year. Unless he's like beating a player with a hockey stick on the bench, I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, come on. That's Patrick Waugh's job. Anyway.
No, his is breaking down the glass trying to get the old man Boudreaux.
God, I really wanted to see that happen, too. I wanted to see Bruce Boudreaux and freaking Waugh go
That
at
was
it.
great. That was like the first game of the season, too.
It was. It was freaking brilliant.
Dom says, let's talk about JVR showing some life, finally. Has been playing well, quietly third or fourth in goals with the team. Yeah, I think he moved up to...
6 goals in the last 10.
I think he's up to second in goals now with the 2 tonight.
I've been waiting to
excuse
see.
me.
I've been waiting to see. Been waiting to see that happen. I mean, we were JVR coming back, getting re-signed in the offseason last year. You were thinking like, okay, let's see if he can continue bringing that scoring touch that he had out in Toronto and when he had with the Flyers beforehand. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, that it was one of those things where it's like, he didn't do too much. But I would chalk up his first season to the injury he suffered because he got hurt really the very first game of the regular season.
Yeah.
And he still finished with, what, like 20, 25 goals or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. So it wasn't as bad. But this year, he got off to a rocky start. It was weird. Like
He's always a slow starter, though, and
he's-
it's only a matter of time.
I think he's, up to 10 goals now
Yeah,
for the season?
about that.
With the 2 tonight? Somewhere around there. Let's see what else we got. Sean says, is it just me or does Katie Emmerich always look like she has sex hair? Seriously. Next time she's on air, look for it.
Bing.
Nice. Oh,
French
Sean.
Canadian women, you love them.
Trevor Harris, TK, and JVR, and G are doing a great job, or great fantasy hockey for me.
Nice.
You got all 3 of them? Damn. Lindholm, G, and TK
Where?
have 11, I believe. And then I guess, I guess he would technically be in second, wouldn't he, JVR, with 10? Because everyone else is tied for first.
Yeah, I mean, important, though, is 6 over the last 10. I mean, really starting to heat up. He's had the nose for the net all season. So that's why I've never been worried or concerned with JVR.
The one
he'll
thing
get his.
the one thing that I have been seeing a lot more of from JVR is getting in front of the net, creating screens. He hasn't been doing that a lot late or earlier on in the season, but he's getting back to being that presence in the front of the net. And you saw that with not only just his 2 goals, but you also saw that with Provorov's goal, because Hutton did not see that puck when Provorov scored on the power play.
Oh, yeah. No, that was one of the ones that I was talking to you about, man. Total
Yeah.
screen. Now,
Yeah, absolutely.
He's been making the effort to get there, but the timing's been off, and you can feel like he's more in rhythm with what the team's doing right now.
And I feel like he's also trying. He's been letting himself get pushed out of position, and I think he's been doing a lot more of standing his ground and pushing other guys out. Really using his strength to keep the front of the net clear for any form of rebound or deflection or screen or whatever. But I just noticed that from JVR lately is he's been doing a lot better job being in front of the net.
All right, then. So, with that being said, we are going to head to our break. When we come back, Brian, you know what time it will be. It'll be time for you
Snack
to...
time? I'm hungry.
No. That's in between breaks. You can think of Taryn Hatcher while you do it. And then, besides that, when we come back, it'll be time...
I'm going to creep out easy, but that kind of creeped me out a little bit.
But besides that, when you come back, you will be doing a live scoring update for
goody.
the fans.
Yay.
This is the Hockey Happy Hour on HDRadio.com. We are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, but we are also brought to you by ATSSportspicks.com. And we have a promo code going on. We have A2D as the promo code to get you 20% off because, listen, guys, we want you guys to make money. And the best way